And we are live now. Hello, everybody. I'm Leighton Loft.
There's no intro? Oh,
no, you want to play? I'll do the intro. You want me to do the intro?
Yeah, let's do the intro.
All right, of course.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Leighton Loft. This is J5. I am not Leighton Sheldon. And this is Lou, Soothing Lou. Hi,
yeah,
Lou.
We're a little late. Leighton's been delayed, and we had some technical issues on both ends here. But we've got it up and running.
Yes. Although my technical issue was a lot easier.
Yeah.
I had to do
this was pretty easy. Just the first time I'd done it. So
okay.
Never run past. They give you a 10-minute leeway in the start time. And we ran past it, so I had to reschedule the whole thing. So it was a learning experience for me.
Nice. Well, I'm glad we took care of it. As soon as Leighton jumps in, Lou will just plug him in here. What's up, Daniel Lynch? How are you? Today, we're going to be talking about...
Today, huh?
What's that?
Big giveaway today, huh?
Yes, we're going to do a giveaway from a collection that Leighton has at his loft. At his loft.
He has it. He has it there.
I'm hoping that he goes on his phone because he cannot go through the computer. I did not have time to set up his computer, so I'm hoping that he just gets on his phone.
Oh, but there's a computer back in the loft.
There is.
Oh, good.
He didn't give me time to set it up yet.
Okay.
Software was. I need to do a test run. You know, I hooked it up already. Everything was good. I need to do a test run, but I didn't have time. So I'm hoping
want the kind of live adjustments we've been doing all afternoon today. We don't want that kind of thing going on.
That just came into my head. So I'm like, oh crap. I hope it doesn't go live on his computer.
Well, that's good because the delay on his phone is a little difficult to deal with at times. So
yes.
I'll be happy to have him back on his computer.
Yeah, so I can safely say, ladies and gentlemen, Leighton is going to have access at home to go live, even if that means like later at night or in the morning or Leighton's loft. He'll be able to do it from home, and he should be I'm hoping he should be using that by next week, not today. I'm hoping not today, but we'll see.
Yep.
So how about them Cowboys? Just want to talk about that since we didn't have a chance to, because the first thing was Thursday night of last week.
Yep.
Very
gave the Bucs all they could handle. Yeah.
I'm very pleased at the Cowboys doing what they did. The offense obviously is all ran by Dak. Was not sure how his show was going to be, but he was actually very well. He played very well. That one interception, not even his fault. CeeDee Lamb could not handle that pass. It was so fast.
Yep.
But it was right there on his like chest and shoulder area. He should have caught it. But aside from that, Tom is Tom. You cannot give Tom Brady a minute plus in anything. That is like hours for him. So we lost by a field goal. And of course, Zerline also missed 2 field goals at an extra point. So that could have been a difference maker as well. What's up, Ben?
Do you think they went away from Zeke too early? Because Zeke just play a big role in this game.
Tampa Bay is just such a hard defense to run against.
Yeah.
So tough. You see how big those guys are?
It's funny because they always say what a great run defense Tampa Bay is. And my reply is always, well, they're always playing from ahead, so nobody's running the ball. But they showed some great run defense against an exceptional offensive. The Cowboys have a great offensive line, and of course, Zeke's one of the best backs in the league. Yeah.
People were telling me, "Oh, Zeke lost it. They didn't even make him run. They got away from the run." They tried to run. Trust me, they tried to do different things. It was just tough. It's really tough. You get a good 3 or 4 yards, and that's it, really.
Yep.
Plus, Dak was just good. Why not just give him the ball?
Hi, Billy. How you doing? How's everything in Kansas?
Kansas, yeah. We were talking about fantasy earlier, Lou. I did lose by 10 my first week.
Yep.
It is what it is. You won.
League or the Vintage Breaks League. We have a Vintage Breaks League, right?
We do. We have a Vintage Breaks League. We did win that one. Sam and I share a team, and we went against Matt, our newest team member, and we did draft Dakota Prescott, and got us like 20-something points, and we just demolished Matt's team.
Do you have it in front of you? Because as I was traveling, I was in the White Mountains during the draft, and Leighton texted me about our first pick in the draft, and then I didn't hear from him after that. We won in week 1, so I don't know what my team is or anything.
I do not have access to it because Sam did it through his phone. I also was not part of the draft because I was live when it happened.
Oh, I see.
So all I know is that Sam drafted a kicker in the 5th round. Yeah, that happened.
All right.
So,
well, Sam thinks the Jets are going to win 12 games. So
that too.
Yeah.
Billy.
Aaron was horrible.
Yeah, I know.
And I bet on the Packers too. I thought that was a gimme right there. But
Packers did not show up.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
What's going on there? I didn't see any of the game. I'd like to see.
One of the games I did see, which is very.
Can we put to bed the Aaron Rodgers as GOAT discussion now at this point? Can we do that? He lost head-to-head to Brady last year.
Yes.
I mean, can we just put it to bed right now? It's done. It's over, isn't it?
He has potential to be the GOAT. It's just he's not happy. He's just not happy right now. You know, put him in a team that he wants to be in. I bet you he's gonna just play all out championship mode. When Aaron Rodgers is in championship mode, he's pretty unstoppable. But unless you go against Brady, and Tampa, obviously had a good team last year as they went all the way.
Yeah, and Green Bay went to the NFC Championship game. That was a pretty good team right there. And listen, if you put Aaron Rodgers with Bill Belichick, for example, or Andy Reid, he'd have probably won a few more championships. But there's something deficient in Aaron Rodgers. There's something big game. There's a big game deficiency with Aaron Rodgers. There just is. Mm-hmm. There's just no way around it.
Amelia and Ayla, it's an 86 Flair basketball and getting open now. The 86 Flair set break, if it's a set break, I don't think it's sold out yet. It has to sell out first, Amelia. We have a couple of Vintage Breaks clients showing up on our YouTube chat.
Nice, I like it.
Tyler, Aaron Rodgers, great player. I still put Brady and Peyton ahead of him. Fair. That's a fair assessment. I'd
add Marino to that, and I'd add John Montana to that.
John Elway.
I'm not as hot on John Elway as. If we're not counting championships anymore, in other words, if championships don't matter because it's Aaron Rodgers discussion, then Joe Kelly's got to be considered. I mean, I know a lot of guys are too young for Joe Kelly and Joe Montana and those type of guys. But
too bad I can put Tony Romo in there.
But I'll tell you what, Tony Romo may be the GOAT color guy. He's a great color guy.
Yes.
I love his broadcasts.
Good analysis. I actually heard that before he went to commentating. There was a show they did on the Dallas Cowboys website. He just happened to go into the booth for their podcast, and they were like, "Hey, Tony, why don't you break this down?" I was like, "Wow!" He went all detail, like, "Oh, X goes here. Why when you see this?" And I'm like, "Damn, Tony, you should be a commentator." And they told him that. He's
very good because he's very genuine, and But I like Chris Collinsworth, and I know a lot of people don't like Chris Collinsworth. I loved Gruden when he was on broadcast because Gruden would tell you stuff that you didn't know.
Right. Did you happen to see the Monday Night Football game with Peyton and Eli?
No, not much of it. I heard a lot of positive response for it, though, except for the production value. I heard they liked the two Mannings, but the production value was a little weird.
Yeah, I saw like a good 15 minutes of it. It was funny. Obviously, Payne's funny. Great sense of humor. Eli, if he was by himself, he wouldn't shine. But because of his brother, they have good chemistry. Yep. They had Kelsey on there, also chiming in. So it wasn't bad. It was fun. It was something different.
Kelsey's a little bit different, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. He's a little bit different.
Yeah. What's up, Otavio? Amelia, I got an email saying it was getting open now. The pack. Oh, I have to check about the pack, Amelia. Yeah, let me check as soon as 5:30, or actually it'll be past 5:30. But as soon as this show is over, we'll check for you. Yes. But yeah. So over the weekend, as you know, the Jets lost. I like to point that out. Cowboys lost. The game I was talking about earlier, Lou, was the Chiefs and Browns.
Yeah.
Browns had that game. There was no reason for the Browns to lose that game. They lost it because they just messed up themselves. It wasn't
because the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that would have been a crazy victory with the Chiefs at their home.
Yep.
That would have been so good. But fumble, back coverage, and just
a lot of weirdness.
I was so upset.
Awful lot of weirdness in week 1.
Yeah, because I actually like what's his name, Blake Baker.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. I actually like Baker Mayfield. His commercials are hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I like that campaign. Yeah,
but he pretty much sealed the game with that last second interception.
Yep.
But oh man, I wanted the Chiefs to lose.
Why? What's your thing with the Chiefs?
Oh, because they're good. They're very good.
Yeah.
And to start off 0-1, because it's good competition. Get them,
Yep.
But the Browns,
I bet on all the losers. I bet on the Bills. I bet on the Packers. And it just, I don't know.
Yeah, the Bills, surprising, but the Steelers came to play. Their defense was legit.
Brendan's bringing they hate us because they ain't us here. So what it was for us in New England, Brendan. They hate us because they ain't us. But
yeah.
Kind of the thing.
It's actually Anthony. It's my kid's YouTube account.
Did you watch Sunday night? Now the Ravens and the Raiders was a terrific finish. What a great finish to that ball game it was.
I didn't get to watch the game. I was just hoping that the Ravens would win and keep the Raiders to at least less than 10 points.
Yeah.
Not the case.
No.
Not the case. Mike Pitt said it would have been Mahomes' first loss in September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was hoping they lost. Anthony, I'm glad that you're excited about that pack. We'll get that open for you after this. We're still waiting for Lane to come on, but any big, I don't want to say about out of all the football games, was there any big surprise factor for you?
Well, the Saints and Packers was just, I still don't know how to compute that. I really don't know what happened there. I mean, you got Jameis Winston, Jameis Winston can throw the ball. He's going to get you. He's a great fan. I think he's a really good fantasy quarterback, depending on your scoring for interceptions, of course. But he'll pile up the yards for you. He can obviously complete passes. He's got some legs. He can move an offense a little bit. But I just did not expect that. I thought that was a gimme. The Packers game, I'm playing it in a parlay with the Bills against Pittsburgh. I thought both games were gimmies there. So I just don't know what happened. I haven't seen the game at all. I got to go back and watch the recap of it, but I don't know what happened there. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see what other game really stood out. I mean,
hi, Jim. Mike says happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you about my birthday dinner.
Your cover photo on Facebook. It's like you just dress up so good. You just
clean
up so well.
Those pictures are from like 2 years ago from a wedding. That was the first time I wore a suit in like 5 years. The Saints Packers game was such a blowout. I'm glad the Giants lost. I'm glad the Washington football team lost. And surprising Eagles win, but Atlanta is like in rebuild mode.
Yeah, so, I was kind of stunned at how big a blowout that was too.
I was kind of hoping that all NFC East teams lost, but no, the Eagles are on top. I mean, Jalen Hurts, kid got talent. You can't complain about it.
I'm watching the AFC East lose, and the Patriots could have been up a game on the whole division, and blew a big game against Miami, and yeah.
And I heard Tua did not do that great.
Well, he did well enough. I tell you what, he passes when he needed to.
Yeah. Trying to say any other. Nothing really else stands out. I mean, the Cardinals just. That guy got 5 sacks, right?
Yep.
Crazy. 5 sacks in one game. He's already trying to break the record there by the end. I think he was trying to break it's a Strahan's record. I think he has the most. But yeah, the Titans, I heard, couldn't do anything. Surprise.
here.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Loft. Sorry, appreciate J5 covering, but you know how it is. It's tax day for those that file extensions.
Yes.
Yes. So
happy to be here.
So I know that the show you still wanted to run till 5:30. Are you gonna pass 5:30?
No, we'll do the show until 5:30.
Great. All right. So you can put me on when you want. I'll be here.
All right, Leighton, how we doing?
Great, thanks. How are you doing, Lou?
You still up right after the taxes? Is that everything's okay?
Yeah, we're gonna make it. we didn't float away. It's been some challenging times down here with, Mother Nature doesn't really care if you have to do your taxes or, take your kid to school. I actually just texted the office and said, hey, I got a storm notice. Not that it's going to be anything bad, but to be fair, I thought the weathermen loved telling you when the storms were bad, and I don't feel like with Ida, at least we knew how bad it could be.
Right.
And so we're just, trying to be as extra safe as possible.
Yep.
Once again, folks, thanks for joining us here on Leighton's Loft. You find us every Wednesday, usually at 4:30. But my compadre, J5, special happy birthday to him.
Yes.
He was sending me some pictures from his meal. We are, in fact, going to be sharing a fantastic meal down at the Valley Ford show all together. J5's girlfriend, Jade, is coming down. My wife, Julie's coming down. Sam will be there. I believe JK is going to be there that weekend. I'm not sure if it's him or Mark, but we'll do our little Capitol Grill dinner. And then, of course, what would the Philly show be if we don't cap it off with a little gambling at the craps table, as we all like to do? So it should be a good time. If you're going to be in the area, check out all the details of the upcoming Philly show. It is not this weekend. It is next weekend, Friday the 24th through the 26th. All the details of that can be found at thephillyshow.com. If you're going to be in the area and you want to say hi or break a pack with us, sell some cards, trade some cards, you're looking for a certain card, you just want to chat, stop on by. It's going to be a good show, Lou.
All right. Recap the podcast for us from yesterday so people can go out and find that.
Absolutely. So thanks for bringing it up. Yesterday was action-packed. We had a full 30 minutes, in terms of trading card therapy, which of course is our new, I believe it's episode 5, our new weekly podcast. You can find it Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's funny, Lou, I can't remember exactly every topic, so I don't know if J5, went over it with you. But I know for me, part of it was an extension of last week, in terms of having one great card versus, let's say, several, cards that make up the same money. I did bring up my buddy Justin. He was going after a late 1950s Parkhurst set. And once again, someone's $20,000 purchase is a $200 purchase of someone else, is $20 of someone else.
Right.
And so my buddy Justin was asking me through text, should I buy the set? It doesn't have a great Hall of Fame rookie. It is a really great set, and it's high grade, but I don't need it. And it just kind of fell into my, if you will, lane of being offered to me, and I think it's fair. And so I very simply just said to him, hey, it was about $20,000-ish. And I said, would you rather have a card or like 2 Grail cards, meaning 10,000-ish each? Yeah. Or would you rather have this set, which is about 60 cards, which will sit in a drawer? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with sitting in a drawer, but just in terms of liquidity, Lou, in terms of practicality, in terms of reality, that was all I said. And obviously he could choose. And he said, Leighton, I really appreciate it. It was very poignant. I looked at that and said, I don't really want it that badly. If I had to sell it, I could see what you mean. It's not that easy. Like if you call a guy like me, I'd rather hear he has a $10,000 or $20,000 High Morenz, or a Gordie Howe card or something of that ilk versus I have a random set of cards from 1963. It's all high grade. I'm like, yeah, but I'm better off having that one or two great cards. And so because it wasn't a love of his, I gave him my, the advice that I would follow myself. And so he ultimately shied away from it. But we did talk about that a little bit yesterday, Lou. I thought that was interesting. And then also one of the other topics we spent a few minutes on was this notion of, some of these Prism, limited edition golds and select numbered of 10 that, making it up, it's 6th year Tom Brady, right? And because one of the recent Tom Brady golds of 10 sold for a lot, now there's a run on them. And, not that anyone asked what I thought, I was just sharing my opinion. And I said, for me, Lou, I don't care if I hit the big lottery, which, by the way, I don't play, so it's going to be difficult to do.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't see it for me. That doesn't mean it's wrong. What I'm saying is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's never more true with something like this. Hey, if it gets you going that your Prism gold card is stamped 1 of 10 and it sells for $17,000, and not only that, you think it's a good investment, more power to you. Me personally, I would go after the more well-established vintage market. Thanks, Daniel. And it's funny because that's what we're getting to. Manufactured scarcity is what we talked a little bit about yesterday. And so I'm just not a big fan of that. We talked about game-used jerseys, Lou, and how, for example, you can have a game-used jersey swatch card signed by LeBron, signed by Michael, signed by Jordan. And I'm not exaggerating. These things sell for thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And yet you can buy a whole jersey potentially of one of those players for maybe similar money, maybe not signed. But the point is like, decide for yourself and don't just, follow the leader, because that's what people are saying you should collect. Meaning you should collect a Prism Gold, a Patrick Mahomes, and because they're selling for big money in some of these auctions or on eBay, then that's what you should buy. And if you want to, or like Mbappe's your guy in soccer, like by all means, educate yourself and buy something special or a few things that are special of that player or of those few players. But in large part, it's very hard for me. Todd, you bring up a good point. Forgetting about the volatility, I'm just saying that like I can't drink that Kool-Aid just because someone's telling me to drink it. It doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. It doesn't mean it's not right. I might be the one who's in the wrong, right? I'm the old fogey who's out of touch. I'm just saying that if you are going to spend $6,000 or $17,000 or $11,500 on a random Prism Gold non-rookie of a Tom Brady or even a Kobe Bryant, hey, if that's for you, God bless. But I'd rather have a substantial piece of memorabilia, meaning the whole piece. I'd rather have an autographed basketball. I'd rather have a game-used jersey. I'd rather have a key rookie card, or for that matter, and we talked about this in recent weeks, Lou, on Leighton's Loft and on Trading Card Therapy. What I love about vintage cards is people are like, well, why would you want, and I always say this, a 5th year Roberto Clemente?
Yep.
Is it better than a 3rd year? Is it worse than a 6th year? And my point is, first of all, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, meaning who gives a shit what anyone thinks?
Right.
If that 3rd year Clemente is what gets your mojo going, or that 6th year Clemente is what gets you, excited about collecting, well, then that's your mini Picasso. That's what you should go after and you should buy. And I got news for you. And Chris Cohen and I were just talking earlier today about a number of different things, but we were both remarking, like that 2nd year or that 6th year or 4th year Clemente market or Mantle market or choose your vintage guy, right? In football, it's Walter Payton. Not only is it not going anywhere, Lou, it's continuing to steadily climb. The reason being is more and more people are entering the market. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Thanks for joining the show today. More and more people are entering the market, and they're educating themselves. And yes, they may start at that Prism, level or 2021 tops, and that's great because that got them in. That got them in the hobby. And if they want to stay there, you're not going to hear me chastise them and say you're buying wrong. I'm just merely suggesting when the dollars become real, just like my buddy Justin asked me, hey, Leighton, what do you think of this expensive $20,000 possible purchase? And I just gave my, honest opinion of what I thought. It's the same thing about these modern cards. Hey, heck, if Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady's your guy and you can afford it, well, then by all means, collect collect what you love, and if that numbered of 10 gold is for you and your collection, then to me that's what you go after and you buy. I just think that if you're going to spend that kind of money, and let's just talk Tom Brady, I'd love to find out what Tom Brady signed rookie cards would cost, because I believe those long term are probably pretty tough to get. And maybe I'm making it up, Lou. Maybe in a year or when Brady retires, he decides, I don't need the money anymore. I'm not signing ever. Or I'm going to sign once a year, and all of a sudden a signed Brady rookie is something that is legitimately a limited collectible, and you really can't say it's manufactured scarcity because Tom Brady just doesn't need the money. And maybe along the way for the last several years, because of contractual obligations while he was playing, he did sign some. But I got news for you. His early tickets from when he played, and he wasn't well known, very difficult to find. People are getting them signed now. My buddy Darren Ravel paid through a private signing, I think, that Jeff Rosenberg and TriStar, who was a fantastic organization, when they had the Tom Brady deal, people were getting their tickets signed. There's lots of great ways, or at the very least, ways you should investigate spending your hard-earned hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars. And just like I talked to my dad earlier today, shout out to Phil. I know he's probably not watching, but it was a particular question I had for him. If he can't figure it out, he's an accountant. So I asked him an accounting question, seeing as how today was the 15th.
Yeah.
And he said, Leighton, I was wondering when you were going to ask. And so my point is, folks, like, we're here as a community for you. Ask anytime you want. You don't have to agree. You're happy to, obviously have your own take on it and say. And like I said, I love being convinced of someone else's point. It's really fun to talk about this nerdy stuff in the hobby. But like I said, whether it's Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, or Roberto Clemente, there's a lot of different ways, to slice that pie and spend your money. And you could do it any which way you'd like. It's just interesting to discuss.
All right. I think this would be a useful exercise for this. And first of all, we may have to do a bake sale for Tom and Giselle, because he's doing Subway commercials now. So there has to be some money problem somewhere. I don't know what's going on with this.
Listen, he might be a big bettor.
He might be a big bettor. But let's take that whole discussion we just had and try to separate it. And I know it's hard, but separate out the emotion of collecting. In other words, if this were just an investment, if this were just a financial transaction, sure, someone who just wanted to invest, talk about those 5th or 6th year cards, or modern versus vintage. If we were just going to take all, you just went through talking about collect what you like, collect something that has some emotional value for you. And I understand all that, but I think it might be useful for people to kind of step out of that a little bit and see the totally clinical question of, just as an investment, would you buy modern versus vintage? Would you be in on 5th and 6th year cards? What would you do if this was strictly a money issue for you?
If it was strictly a money issue, it would depend on how much money I was asked to either deploy or to manage. And so no matter what, I would definitely try to be balanced and strategic in what I was trying to buy, acquire, hold, and eventually sell. That being said, I believe the majority of my portfolio would be vintage. As I was talking with Chris and others, just earlier today, but all week, that's what I do. I talk cards. I'm a card nerd. I always advise to buy the best of what you can afford. So if you want to go out and buy a Babe Ruth, buy a 3 instead of a 1 if you can afford it. Buy a 5 instead of a 3. Mm-hmm. It's going to end up being better off in the long run. Also in baseball, there's to me 2 names, and there's kind of everyone else. And you might say, or you might look at me and say, well, that's bizarre. Why would you go in this direction? Well, the reason why I'm choosing baseball, and I think what we'll do, Lou, is we'll save football, basketball, hockey for the upcoming weeks.
Sure.
So for baseball, I'm going to choose 2, and then we're going to do the next level. So in baseball, to me, there's Babe Ruth, and believe it or not, it might be tied, but it's really Jackie Robinson with Mickey Mantle a very close third. Okay. Because ultimately, I don't believe they're going to teach about Mickey Mantle in school.
No.
I think they are going to teach about Jackie Robinson. And you might say, well, like 50 years from now, what's going to happen? Yeah, what I think is going to happen is Jackie Robinson will be more historic than ever. I think baseball will still be around. And although Mickey Mantle was great, a lot of the folks, unfortunately, who had seen Mickey play live will no longer be around to talk about it. And right. ultimately, and this is no disrespect to Mantle, and I know he got hurt during his career, Babe Ruth came before him and had what I believe a profound impact on the game in a variety of different ways. And so,
well, Ruth was the first American superstar. I mean,
there's no other way to put it, Lou.
he created the superstar status. And he was national, and so was Jackie Robinson. The interest there is national. Mickey, not so much. Outside of New York, we don't see Mickey the same way you guys did. The same way.
If you were asking me to where I put my money, for full disclosure, I'm very heavily invested in Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson. So I don't want to be, and I know there's a lot of like people giving advice, and I don't like to give investment advice, or at least not publicly, because that's all I do. But since we're talking about it, I feel like, hey, I should disclose I don't know the exact amount, but tens of thousands of dollars of Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson cards that I have no intention to sell in the near future. Yes, what's up, Ben?
Yeah, I'm from Boston. There's no doubt about it. But I guess the answer, I think what I'm hearing from you is, even if you're just doing investment and you have to divulge yourself of all emotional ties, you still have to understand the emotional ties of the hobby to understand the market.
And that's why I said I would diversify. I'm making it up. I'd have to know how much money I had to deal with, but let's just use 100 basis points. I might use 60 to 80-ish basis points of that portfolio on vintage, and the rest of it on modern. Modern can be 70s, 80s, LeBron, Brady, Mahomes, right? And it doesn't have to be just a rookie card. It could be a game used jersey. It could be historical artifacts. And so, great question, Lou. I'm glad you brought it up. But that is the way that I would look at it.
Is there a current player? Yeah, I'll limit it to current players who will have the staying power of a Ruth or a Robinson. I mean, I'm sorry. Is everyone going to be excited about LeBron 40 years from now?
So here's the deal. No one knows the future. No one can predict. I will tell you that individual, whether it be LeBron or Brady or Ronaldo or Messi, it's no longer just how popular they are. It's what's their Instagram following, what's their Twitter following, what's their global impact. Are they going to be an entrepreneur in the space? Right. Are they going to be announcing Sunday Night Baseball like A-Rod, who's obviously trying to get back in the good graces of baseball? And so I think these are all really wonderful things to consider and to think about moving forward. And by the way, my buddy Thomas brought up Ty Cobb. I'm not trying to say Ty Cobb doesn't make the cut for me.
No.
I'm just suggesting that without an unlimited budget, without being able to collect for what I love, I'm simply boiling baseball down to two players for me at the moment. And that could change, right? We could say in 50 years, maybe it's Jackie Robinson, but no longer Babe Ruth. I just find that hard to believe unless baseball goes by the wayside. And I don't think that's going to happen, although we've seen stranger things happen. So
it's interesting how some people can raise their Q level after their careers. And John Madden is a guy who was a terrific coach, but became a national icon as an announcer. Tony Romo, J5 and I were talking about Tony Romo before. He might be the same type of thing. He's almost increased his value as an announcer over what he was as a player.
Oh, listen, I would tell you Charles Barkley never won a world title. Yeah. And how much is he Google searched for every day versus when he was playing? I mean, I don't know, but I would argue, I would argue that I was just reading Tyler's. Listen, I think the 52 man is great. I still think it's on the outside looking into Jackie and Ruth, but that's what's fun about discussing things and pondering. In terms of 40 or 50 years, and it pains me to say it, there's just no way, unless there's another one, that Tom Brady isn't going to be relevant. He dominated the game. I'm sorry, and I know it's not comparable, more than LeBron did. You can say LeBron dominated the game, but he didn't dominate it the way that Tom Brady did, in my opinion.
My counter with that, no, and it's dominating the game. Tom Brady's the GOAT. And not only is he, and I will tell you, not only is he the best quarterback who ever played, he's the best NFL player. And I know Lawrence Taylor fans can have an argument with that. And I'm perfectly,
or Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, I'm perfectly happy to talk about it. And I will tell you this, this is going to be a bold statement, and Babe Ruth is lurking in our conversation. Tom Brady may be the best American athlete ever of the four major sports, or the three major sports. That having been said, Tom Brady doesn't have the cachet that Michael Jordan had, that Ruth had. I'm people aren't passionate about Tom Brady. They may sit back and they go, okay, yeah, he was the greatest. And then that's the end of the discussion.
But that could change. That could change post-career with documentaries. That could change based on his involvement with entrepreneurship, social media, and the like. Excellent point. I'm not going to get into what is blasphemy in terms of Tom Brady being the greatest North American athlete of all time, but I understand where you're coming from, and certainly could be a whole discussion and a whole show by itself.
It's a great discussion. I mean, you get the NFL salary cap era as opposed to Babe Ruth with the Yankees when, no free agency and all kinds of stuff going on. You could make the argument. We could have that discussion all day and all night. But he doesn't engender the passion that a lot of the icons of sports, to me, to this point, could happen. But I don't think people like Tom Brady all that much.
I don't like him, but I know he's fantastic. I know he's unbelievable at what he does. But all kidding aside, this is going to be a great future show worth of topics to discuss, Lou, because I feel like our audience has their own lane, has their own folks. And so I want to table that because I feel like we could easily fill up the last 10 minutes, with that. But what I wanted to do is to kind of take a different direction. And I'm super pumped because we were working on this for a little bit. We kind of lost focus with a number of different projects going on. And we're sending out today our very first Just Collect private sale email. And so what that means, it's going to go out to about 35,000 people on our Just Collect email list. It's going to go out to about 10,000 people on our Vintage Breaks email list. We're going to be sending it every Wednesday, Lou. And the reason why it's cool, aside from these little, nuggets and pieces of information that my buddy Mark Litt puts together for our team here at Just Collect and Vintage Breaks, but we're going to be offering the opportunity to see for direct sale and purchase anywhere between 3 and let's say a half dozen or so graded cards on a weekly basis that are not available for sale anywhere else. Not available on eBay, not available in an auction house, maybe available, different grade, different that, but this is not going to be available, put up for sale in dual locations. It will be first come, first serve. Today's email is going out shortly after Leighton's Loft ends at 5:30. Let's just say there's some high power stuff in there. And then there's a card that's still a great card, but it's from 2001. And I wanted to talk about for a minute what we're going to be able to do for the Vintage Breaks community, Lou. And I'm real proud of this. So in the future being not counting Vintage Breaks customers until the end of the year, but this is not only a value-added service for the Just Collect community and the Vintage Breaks community. Candidly, it could be a revenue stream for Just Collect. Because if we sell cards for people and we take a small commission, well, the cards that we offer in our private sale email, we're going to be offering higher-end graded cards. Things that are going to be, we're hoping $5,000 and up. To start, we'll be targeting cards that are $1,000 and up, only graded. And for our Vintage Breaks community only, until the end of this year, meaning until December 31st, 2020, I, Leighton Sheldon, the owner of Just Collect, the 100% owner, I should say, because I have partners in Vintage Breaks, is I'm not going to be charging anyone from the Vintage Breaks community to list a card through this private sale email. It's going to go out once a week. And I'm not going to charge you even if it sells. Ooh. All I'm going to be doing is offering you a value-added service that at least until December 31st, 2020, you have my word that I will offer it as my thank you to the Vintage Breaks community. And the way to utilize this,
2021, by the way.
Sorry, 2021. Sorry, I was thinking about, I was doing taxes, so you can understand why I'm in 2020.
I got that too. I totally understand. Yeah.
So we're going to be doing it until the end of December 2021. And the main reason is because I want to give back to the community, but I also want you folks to really take to heart what I shared with you the other day and what we shared part 2 with last week on Leighton's Loft and Trading Card Therapy, was to thin your own hoard. So whether it be it's utilizing a guy like myself and our company here at Just Collect to sell higher end graded card And the reason why, by the way, this is a great proposition for you, the user, from the Vintage Breaks community, is there's no risk. So if we know each other, you don't even have to send me the card. You have to send me a high resolution image of the front and back. You'll have to, we'll have to agree on the price, but you'll tell me the price. And it'll be first come, first serve. So if all of a sudden, you know, I'm making it up, we have 27 cards we're being offered a week, I'm not going to take the email of 27 cards, Lou, because I want it to be special. I want it to be, you know, I would say the best of the best, but I want it to be curated. Now, if it ends up growing over time, so be it. But this is what I want folks to do.
So this email will be exclusive and an event. People will look forward to this to see what card they're being.
Exactly, Lou. And I want to be able to do that. And so the only way to do that is to kind of keep it to the upper echelon of material. But I also want people to take this to the heart in terms of fitting your own hoard, meaning, hey, if you have a card in mind that you want to buy before the end of the year, oh, Mark Litt's listing. I'm watching on YouTube. That's great. Well, thanks, Mark. We really appreciate your help, bud. We're looking forward to sending out the email today. So the reason why this is so great, Lou, is because if you yourself sell it on eBay, you're going to pay fees. If you yourself sell it in an auction house, you're undoubtedly going to pay fees. And by the way, eBay, well, I can't say eBay's my friend, but plenty of people from auction houses are my friends. But what I'm getting to is there's nothing better than a bird in hand, meaning like this is what I'm going to net. So our Vintage Breaks buy sell trade group on Facebook has served us very well and still continues to do so. But I believe on cards that are thousands of dollars or more, you kind of want to have a high resolution image. You want to have a little bit of a write-up. You want to have it be as professional as possible. And so because we already have a highly targeted list of card buyers, I believe if we do this right, we're not only going to help sell cards for me, meaning I just collect, but I'm hoping in the weeks to come and the months to come, we're going to have a number of people from the Vintage Breaks community who, whether it be they were on the fence of selling a card or not, or they didn't want to list it on eBay or ship it to anyone else they didn't know because they don't really like not knowing what they're going to get for it. So once again, what's great is we agree on the price. When I say we, I'm not looking to negotiate with you or buy the card from you, but understand, folks, if the card is worth $5,000 and you're asking $10,000, we're not going to allow that card in the email because that's simply going to take up valuable real estate. And we don't want to waste people's, time.
You want to create a gallery type of market as opposed to a retail type of market where people are coming and they know what to expect and they don't have to deal with a lot of chaff. You, as a seller, you don't have to deal with a lot of chaff. People are going to lowball you, things like that. It's going to be a serious gallery type of market for people who appreciate what's being sold.
Absolutely, Lou. Is a great way to put it. And so that first email blast will go out actually in just a few minutes at the end of Leighton's Loft today. If you would like to potentially be involved and offer a card for direct sale through the Just Collect email, all you have to do is email me direct. If you could put my email on the screen, Lou, Leighton@justcollect.com. And no matter what, I promise I will get back to you, even if it's not a card that's appropriate. But these are the ground rules, Lou. In general, we're looking for cards that are $5,000 and up, but just start with $1,000 plus. I can't guarantee that your card will be in that particular week's email, but I'll do my very best as long as we're not inundated to get your card in a future email, meaning on a Wednesday. I would ask that if you're going to have, for example, your card in next week's email, you email us no later than 24 hours prior to that particular email going out. So that way we could both have time to get the information as well as verify the pricing. So you're going to have yours truly making sure that these are not only going to be high-end offerings through the email. You may not want to buy it, but the prices are going to be within the realm of what the market is going to potentially bear. And so I think it's going to be a really great value add to the Vintage Breaks community in terms of being able to take advantage of that service. And then I think just as a user, even if you don't buy it, I think there's some value in knowing, wow, every Wednesday there's going to be coming an email from Vintage Breaks and Just Collect with some cool special cards I can't find anywhere else for sale.
Yeah, and Todd makes a great point. Not a ton of overpriced material. You're going to have Vintage Breaks is in Just Collecting yourself. It's not an endorsement of this card, but it's a realization that this is a reasonable price for this card. And if you're in the market and this has appeal to you, maybe you should look at this.
Absolutely. So I know we only have a minute or two left, but we talked about it recently, Lou, and obviously this will have to be the name. But I'm proud to say that we have closed the It's Lovely collection and we have sent out the check. And so I don't have the whole collection here at the loft, but I'm going to show off some of the highlights. Before I do, I want to mention two things. Number one, I am subjecting my family and my 6-year-old son, specifically Crosby, to the Jets-Patriots and the home opener this Sunday.
Oh, God, good for you.
Yeah, oh, God is right. My wife is seriously concerned. She literally is saying to Crosby, we just want you to make sure that you know that Daddy likes the Jets, and you can like football, but you can like any team you want.
Tell Crosby he can like the other team. There's a team right in front of him that he could like too.
Lou, don't do that, Lou. That's not nice. I consider you almost family, and I'm going to come up and visit. Don't do anything to jeopardize that, please.
I get you.
By infiltrating. And number two, our good buddy Chris Gilmore from Vintage Break South is going on a vacation of sorts next week for a couple days. And so I wanted to bring that up because the triumphant return to help out and pitch in of the OG Leighton's Loft. That's right. I'll be breaking next week from the loft at least a night or two. So
nice.
Make sure you tune in. It's going to be great. And I'm really looking forward to, just like that late night camaraderie of not being so serious. The day's already transpired, and just having fun with the community.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be a great throwback to the original loft, the OG loft.
Yep. So without further ado, Lou, I'm going to show off some of that. It's so lovely, this collection. Here it is, some of the highlights. And by the way, folks, this is the prize for Leighton's Loft today. We are giving away one of these cards from the It's So Lovely collection following the end of our show today. Tune in live to our YouTube show on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/vintagebreaks, and you'll have a chance to win this 1961 Clemente, Willie Mays. Now we're getting some 53s. We got a Satchel, Jackie.
Beautiful.
52 Bowman Mays. We're going to skip this. Oh, okay. There's a couple 52 Heimers. Here's the 52 Mays that's in the collection. So, folks, when we first showed this off, J5, a couple weeks back, we didn't own it. We were just appraising it.
Yep.
We now own it, signed, sealed, and delivered. And we're going to skip the 56s because I want to show off. Well, here's the 56 Mantle and Jackie. We'll show off those. There's Mantle. Here's Jackie. But my favorite part of the collection by far, this is the biggest stash of 48 Bowmans that I've ever purchased. 1948 Bowman baseball, not one, not two, but 3 Stan Musial rookie cards. Yogi Berra rookie, multiple Warren Spahn rookies, Bob Feller's rookie. I mean, this collection is just so lovely.
What a great rookie class that was.
This is a great collection. Very appreciative of having the opportunity to buy it. We'll be sharing all the details behind this collection on our blog, which you can find at blog.justcollect.com. That's going to be it for today's episode of The Loft. It was action-packed. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay tuned for your chance to win this 1961 Topps Ernie Banks on our Vintage Breaks live stream. And hopefully we'll meet some of you next weekend live at the Philly show. Thanks for tuning in.